Welcome to Auntie K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello everyone and welcome to Auntie K's Tarot. So today I am going to participate in the tag started by Fairlight Tarot, blind ranking 10 decks. Other folks had husbands pick out decks for them, but I am not in a partnership, and since my one of my adult kids is visiting, they and my 10-year-old picked 10 decks, and they're in a bag, and I'm going to take them out from the top reaching down so that I don't know what there is. Oh, and I need to set up so I can write them down and rank them. We'll use a tarot journal. That seems appropriate. Okay. All right, so it kind of works on this page, and I feel like we're gonna need something. Oh, maybe that will stay down. All right, first deck that I am pulling out. Oh, oh wow. So, this is easy. I know I can put this at the top, and like even if like they chose my own decks, I don't know if they would do that. I wouldn't feel bad that I put this at the top. I wouldn't at all. I love this deck. It sat on my wish list for a long time because a combination of it's expensive and it has really stiff cardstock, but I'm so glad I got it. Also, this was easy for this to be the first deck that I pulled out because I know that I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't believe I put it there later on, because it's one of my all-time favorite decks. So this is the Tazama African Tarot. And it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. I put some of my decks away so they could do this, so it's just going back on my work table. I love this deck. That one was easy. Okay. You gonna hand me a next one? Ooh, all right. This is going to be a tricky one. So this is the Untamed Mystery Tarot. So I don't read with this deck a lot, but it's one of those decks that I have it because it's beautiful. I sometimes read for myself, which I haven't done in a while. I need to put it somewhere more accessible so that I do that. Oh man, I love this deck. It's made out of that plastic cardstock. It's very shiny. It catches the light really easily. The symbology is really consistent. I like the guidebook. It's kind of quirky. If you've left a Christian upbringing or household and get annoyed by that background, sometimes you will find this similarly refreshing at times. Where am I going to put it? So I really like this deck, even though I don't really use it, but I think like putting it at 2 would be crazy. I don't know what they might have chosen. I don't know, 3 or 4. I really like it. It's one of these decks, I don't need to read it a lot to love it. Okay. All right, what's next? Tarot in Space. This one's kind of newer to me, and it's been on my work table a couple times this summer, and I'm trying to decide, like, I generally like the art, and I think it is a pretty fun deck. It has really expressive faces. But sometimes, like, I'll do 1 or 2 readings with it because I've thrown it on my table, and then reach for other decks on my table. But I like it enough to be putting it back on my table. And then I'm like, oh man, you didn't use it. So I'm like mid about it. And I'm going to put Tarot in Space at 6, but I don't know what, so far they've picked out good decks, so I kind of want to leave space. But I do like that 5 or 6. I'm going to play it safe, but I'm not sure if playing it safe is putting it 6 instead of 5. Okay. I think sometimes it's so outer spacey. I don't know what it is. Like, it's, the Rockets, Cups, it's the cup suit that I find difficult. It's not, what is Cups? Rockets is wands. Planets is comets. Cups are comets. And that kind of confuses me sometimes, that it's comets. Okay, what is next? Oh, I'm so glad I love space.
I really like that one.
This is like Untamed Mysteries. You know, I might have put Untamed Mysteries and then this one, actually. Although, like, yeah, I probably would have done that. What if there's something even better? Oh. So I really like this deck, but it would have been a lot easier to read with this deck if since it was a pip deck, it was actually pipped. The number of objects has nothing to do with the, that's 2, but that's 5. So this is the one thing I don't like about this deck, but there's other ways in which I really do like it. There could be other really good decks in there. Am I going to put it at 4 or 5? I'm going to put it at 4. So this is the Great Lakes Tarot. If, like, I would use this more if the pips were better pips. That's where I am with this deck. Or, like, it would be great if I recognized all fishes, all birds, and all plants. Oh, this is such a good deck. So this deck gets less play just because of size, but then I brought out Next World Tarot. So, but it's one of these Hay House Oracle size tarot decks. But it's really beautiful. You know what? I just might put this on my work table and give it a shot. Oh, look at that. That bent just doing that. I'm not a fan of the Hay House. Well, maybe this is why it's not on my table much. You know, it's one thing when 40 or 50 card oracle decks that thick. It's another thing when it's a 78 card tarot deck. Whoo-wee, it's workout. And you know, the Moody Tarot is like this size and totally shuffleable. Oh man, why did they put the Moody Tarot in here? I wanted to use this deck a lot more, and the reason I don't is the shuffle. The reason I don't use this deck more is the shuffle. And like, okay, so the African Tizama Tarot is also a hard shuffle, but actually it does a better job than this. This is equally stiff without being as good of a cardstock, if that makes sense. And then the extra size. So I love this deck too, but I'm going to put this below tarot in space. So, you know, I was like, oh, looking at the pictures, I'm going to put it right back on my work table. But actually, I'm not going to put it right back on my work table because I can't shuffle it. Okay, what's next? Oh, I actually don't put this one on video.
Oh.
Actually, what else do you got? Yeah, choose another one. I don't put it on video, so that is not a tarot deck. That's a Lenormand deck.
I didn't pick that one. What?
We might have a pause for a bit.
I didn't pick this one either.
This is a tarot deck. Okay, the Mega Tarot. So the Kins are going to replace two of the decks that were chosen. This is a Mega Tarot, or and I quite like this deck, and I quite like this deck. It's a low Scarabeo. It's good for a low Scarabeo deck. I don't know what they might have chosen elsewise, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. But I do quite like it, and I don't want to put it too low because I kind of like it. I'm going to put Mega Tarot at number 9. So here's the thing that also gets it lowered. It's like low Scarabeo will do this thing where they will put names of artists sometimes that sound like they put fake artist names, but this one we have Italian artist names, so that's cool. But sometimes low Scarabeo makes up artist names to match the art style, ethnicity wise. That's the thing I don't love about them, but they're super affordable decks, and sometimes they do neat things. And the Manga Tarot, it switches all the men and women roles in it, which is interesting and fun. And it's a good, simple RWS deck to read. It's really pretty. The art's really nice. And I quite like it. Doesn't always get time on my table, and like, I don't love the Devil card. Doesn't always get a fair shake of time on my table, and it's a good deck. I might put this on my table. It's a pretty good deck. Is it good enough to be a number 5 deck, people? It's good enough to be a number 5 deck. Oh, I put it there. I'm changing it. I didn't look at anything else yet, so I still can. 5 or 8. Maybe I'm going I don't know. I don't want it. Yeah, Manga. I'm going to put it at an 8. What else you got? That is also not a tarot deck. Keep getting past Lenormand decks. Ooh. I'm glad I saved spot. All right. So here's a deck that I love. Apparently my cats do because they've chewed the corners.
I say they think it's yummy, not.
This is the Aztec Tarot. And it's very RWS in Aztec art. And it's fantastically done. And I quite like reading it. It goes on and off my table with some regularity. It just came off the other day. It does great fun things. We've got deer, we've got jaguars because it wasn't horses. I love what they did with the swords. They kept it really traditional. I have no problem putting the Aztec Tarot at number 2. I do love this deck. All right, do we got something else? Did anybody else's partners pick out decks that were like not tarot decks? Oh man. Oh, okay. Oh, I love this deck. Now this is when you're like, why didn't I leave space? But okay, I like those decks even if I don't use them all the time. Whereas very easy to shuffle. Oops. This is the Estrea Tarot. It is an indie Marseille deck that is fun. It's very diverse and there's humor in it. The art is weird, but not the same weird as Marseille. It's like I guess a more modern version of the same. I really like it. I love the color choices. It's at number 5, but like Untamed Mysteries, Great Lakes, they're special decks that I don't really use, but they're special. And this is an everyday deck that I love. So that's what I have to say about it. It's an everyday deck that I do love. So there we go with that one. What else do we got, Cookie? Oh man, now I wish I had left the manga tarot at 8 because I would not have put this at 9. Oh man. Okay, so this is the 5th Spirit Tarot. I also use this deck more. I do use the Aztec Tarot more than the 5th Spirit. And I do use the Estrella more than the 5th Spirit. I probably use it about the same amount as Tarot in Space. It's not accurate that it's going to sit below the manga tarot, but that's how blind ranking works. And that's how that goes. That's how that goes. All right. Tarot of the Enchanted Garden. So this is fair, actually. This is fair. Because let's talk about Tarot of the Enchanted Garden. This deck's so beautiful. And without the light perfectly shining on it, and generally without having my glasses, like I don't find it the easiest deck to work with. Maybe when I move, I'll get something where I have a light that shines right down directly on top of the table. But yeah, like if I had a light that did this, maybe I'd use it more. Maybe I would, but as it stands right now, I love the bit. I love the soft pastels, but I find it really kind of washes out in a reading for me. That's how I feel about it. I really like this deck. I end up using it for like a read or two, but it's a workout because I find the images wash out for me. So these are all decks that I like. Like there's no, well, probably because I get rid of lots of decks. Yeah, this works. I think if I had changed anything, yes, the manga would have come down here if this wasn't a blind ranking. There would have been some shifting around, but it's pretty good. I haven't decided where this sits in my collection yet. I am sort of being like, I'm going to give this a chance when I move to have better lighting. Because the ring lights are nice for video, but like I want something that shines right on the cards like this and stays that way. Maybe I would use it more. It's a low Scarabeo deck in their thick fancy cardstock that's kind of like hay houses, and I don't love it. I actually prefer their cheap cardstock. That's how I feel about that. And there we go, folks. Thanks for joining me in the tag. Oh, wait. I'm just going to comment on, it was the Push Kitties fan art, the Little Wizards Tarot, which I think a lot of people know. I have this deck. I use this deck, and I don't use it in video because the art's really good, and someone might not recognize it as being fan art, and then they might feel uncomfortable because it looks a lot like HP quite directly. So that's why it got kicked off the video, because also the kids didn't know that. Talk to you later, folks.